Welcome back to Have Your Other Carl. I'm Carl, and today I'm installing luxury vinyl plank on my shed build. So we're using NuCore luxury vinyl plank from Floor and Decor. It has a cork backing. Before we put this down, I want to make sure the floor is really nice and flat. And under construction, some of this subfloor got wet and the edges swelled up. So I'm using a planer and belt sander to take the edges down and make sure everything is nice and flat before we put the floor down.
Having the floor surface flat before install is important. Luxury vinyl plank, or LVP, can handle some imperfections in the floor, but not any dramatic bumps. Sanding and planing didn't take too long in this 10 by 16 space, and once it was done, we vacuumed thoroughly before putting down our underlayment.
We're using this BlackJack Underlayment. It's very cost effective on Amazon. I'll leave a link in the description.
You don't always need an underlayment under LVP, but in this type of application it was a good idea. This is a 2.5mm foam underlayment that adds some cushion to the feel of the floor. It also helps minimize the impact of any imperfections in the subfloor, adds some noise reduction, and helps the LVP last longer. You want your underlayment to be very thin for LVP. 1 to 2 millimeters is usually all you want. I chose this 2.5mm and I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. It's a simple install. Just roll it out and seal the seams with the provided tape, then cut the excess and you're ready. Next, I started measuring my LVP. I wanted to avoid having any really thin slivers of LVP.
Alright, so I took some measurements and I figured I should just lay these out, just dry fitting them to see exactly how much space we have on either side. And the space is a little bit too small here, so I'm going to cut my first row a little bit narrower so that when I eventually get to this side, this isn't just a sliver of flooring. So in some instances you can cut LVP with a box cutter, but probably the best way to cut it is with a table saw or a circular saw.
When you lay out the planks, you want to keep a few things in mind. One, you want to leave about a 1/4 inch gap between the planks and the walls to allow for expansion and contraction. You also need to stagger the joints in a random fashion. If you're too consistent with your staggering technique, you'll end up with repeating lines in the floor. Or you'll end up with a ladder effect where the joints sort of go diagonally. You also want to make sure to mix up the planks from the different boxes so that there aren't any repeating patterns in the wood. There are toolkits that I would recommend buying to install vinyl plank, but you can make do with a rubber mallet, some shims as spacers, a block of wood to tap the pieces, and a pry bar to pull the pieces. I was able to improvise the pulling tool using a pry bar and vice grips, but yeah, easier to buy the toolkit. When I got to the end of the room, I was glad for my initial measuring, since I was left with a workable plank and not just a sliver. The planks have a tongue and groove that hook together and usually click into place either by pressing on them or with the tap of the mallet. Another thing to consider when installing is the direction of your seams. It's typically better to run your planks long ways along the length of the room so that you don't have to make so many cuts. With all the planks installed, I could remove the 1/4 inch spacers around the walls and cut off any excess underlayment. The next step was to install trim. I went with super inexpensive 1x4 pine boards off the Home Depot cull pile. I painted them semi-gloss white and nailed them in with finish nails. I also used an oak threshold to finish the transition from the door to the LVP. I cut it to slot into the door frame and nailed it in with finish nails. With the first floor done, I could finish the loft. I wanted the loft to be a cozy area, so I decided on carpet. I bought an 8x10 area rug on Facebook Marketplace and cut it to fit the 7x10 loft space. I got carpet underlayment from Home Depot and stapled it in. Then, I rolled out the carpet and nailed that down on all sides. Meanwhile, I worked on creating an L-shaped piece of trim to finish off the front beam of the loft. This would join the underside of the wooden beam to the drywall ceiling under the loft. I used a 10-foot 2x4 and milled it into an L shape using my table saw. Later, I created a second piece to finish the top side of the beam to complete the finished edge of the carpeting in the loft. I stained it to match the beam, and it turned out great. The last bit of flooring to complete was a stoop that would help with getting into the shed.
All right, I'm going to be working on a stoop to go right in front of the door here. There's a little step and entryway.
I used pressure-treated 2x4s along with framing screws for the frame and paver blocks that I had left over from a previous project for the footers. This was a simple design. I mounted a 2x4 up tight to support the door threshold. Then I added 2 pieces of 2x2 to support the ends of my joists as I screwed the joists into the bandboard of my shed floor with L brackets. This gave my little stoop the ability to be slightly movable up and down, depending on heaving of the ground from temperature changes. I added a 2x4 at the front and 2 pavers, one under either corner. Then I added a center joist and a paver to support that. With the frame done, I cut and installed my 4 pressure-treated deck boards using the same framing screws. I then placed a few pavers in front of the stoop as a little step. All these pavers need to be dug down and installed better, but I'll take care of that later. This did the trick for now.
And there it is, nice and level. These are just temporarily placed here. I'll probably set them in a little bit better, but it's just the idea for now.
This was pretty much the last piece of my build. I'll have a couple more videos breaking down the costs and maybe showing the whole process in a time lapse, but you'll need to stay tuned for that. There's plenty more builds and adventures to come, so please subscribe. Like the video if you liked it. If you have a question or comment, leave it below. I'll leave some links to some of the products I used in the description. But until next time, I'm Every Other Carl, and I'll see ya.